This is the Ruckus and the Menace.
Challenge accepted. No.
Oh no! We suck again!
I'm getting confused. What game are you calling?
I'm calling both games!
It is caught by Kelsey! Touchdown! Kansas City!
There you go. There it is.
There's a winner. Look at that.
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you,
I say boomer, you say sooner, boomer.
Horns down.
Aw, come on, don't do me like
Sooner.
that.
Just kidding. Sooner.
Yay, because guess what happened this weekend? Boomer sooner, baby. That's what happened. Anyways, let's get right into the episode number 163 of Ruckus.
Georgia, we're even.
Yep. Welcome to episode 163 of Ruckus and the Menace. I am Ruckus, always causing a ruckus.
And I'm Spenace the Menace.
And what do we want to start with?
Well, I think we've kind of been doing pretty well so far. Kind of a little bit that we want to kind of get to you here is our Super Bowl races are still in full swing.
Mm-hmm.
We just had our week 11's air. And I will say this, on Friday, y'all are getting a good one from me. It is going to be a very good game. That is the only way I'm gonna tease that without spoiling anything.
I've gotten some kind of shit luck.
It's San Francisco.
I've gotten some kind of crap luck with the teams I played against. I did not predict that the Cowboys would beat the Raiders IRL, but I managed to make that happen in last week's episode.
You've had yourself quite your hands full with a few of yours, but I mean, where's your record at this point?
I think I've only lost 4 games. So I think
which is
4.
I think is this still more than, because how many did you lose last year?
I don't even think I lost very many. I think maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, I mean, I only lost.
I think my first run,
2.
I think my first run, I might have been undefeated or at least lost 1. But that was a long time ago.
I think I lost about 2 or 3. I think I lost 2 or 3 on my first run. My second run, I went perfect. And then this run, I lost 2 games, and I'm on fire. I'm on fire, but I've had to fight a little bit because Carolina comparatively is not a quality team.
Well, you got a short king in Bryce Young as well.
I mean, and I lost to the other short king quarterback in Kyler Murray in week 2. But that's a digression aside. Anyway, let's get right into it with our Eastwood segment, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
All right, the good this week, Mr. Spenace.
All right, our good this week is Seattle keeping a marquee free agent from this past trade deadline. Josh Naylor is staying in Seattle on a 5-year deal. I think this is good for Seattle because the franchise has loved him coming over, and Naylor has been able to bring a power bat that they have needed over there at first. And
they've also just not really invested much in their offense as far as just like key pieces. Besides Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez and Randy Rosarena, they didn't really have someone that was dedicated at first, like they did with Ty France back in the day. And now they have him with a 5-year deal. He did pretty damn well for them in the postseason. It was just that they just didn't have enough in the tank to get the World Series. But it's good that they kept him.
They gave him the incentive to keep him. I mean, the Mariners have been relying heavily on that rotation, which I think they can still bolster a bit with the bullpen, make some smaller moves there. possibly try and see if they can entice Jorge Polanco to come back. But I think they're going to be just fine, and they're poising themselves to finally make another run. And the not so good this week, the bad, is that Justin Fields, the Jets quarterback, has been benched for a second time in the same season.
Oof.
Normally, you would think that once in the doghouse was enough.
You would think that well, never mind. We don't have to think because this is Mr. Woody's toy barn, and he is treating it like Madden ratings. So he probably signed Justin Fields thinking, oh, he might actually turn around, but instead he did a full 360 instead of just a 180.
I mean, simply put, this has just been the JETS crash and burn.
And no, this is not related to the government shutdown.
That wasn't where I was going with that. The downright ugly this week. Take it away, Ruckus.
All right, a story breaks out about Tyler Skaggs' mother knowing about his addiction in the wrongful death lawsuit with the Angels. I feel like the Tyler Skaggs thing has kind of been a big thing for a long time. Let's see what else they said about it. Do you have the link still, or am I shit out of luck?
Hang on. It actually is one of the major stories on the thing. It looks like it says the Angels have long said that they were not aware of Skaggs' drug problems. One of the key arguments, and this is week 6 of the trial. The Angels contend that they're not responsible, but it looks like they have mentioned that.
It says Tyler Skaggs, one of the plaintiffs in the family's wrongful death civil lawsuit against the franchise, testified Monday that she didn't know whether her son ever informed the team about his drug addiction, but that the organization never asked her any questions about him. If the team had asked, Hetman said she would have told the Angels he became addicted to Percocet after the 2013 season. Yeah, still not good.
And it looks like his wife Carly said that she had denied knowing her husband had a drug problem or took illicit pills prior to his death. The only drugs she had known him to take were marijuana and ecstasy once on their honeymoon. And this is definitely, like, it is really a very heavy, like, it's a very heavy case, but it also talks very much about where the drug problem has kind of gone over the years here in the country. And it really is a sad state of affairs.
And it all started from his Tommy John surgery.
Or at least
or
I think that
carried on.
Probably evolved, or where the further devolution of it was.
Yeah.
But I think on that note, I think we move on to our studs and duds of the week.
And I have some very silly studs and duds. So my first silly one is some random people, which I feel like it was probably some either interns or people that were willing to do this in general, but during the broadcast of the Georgia Bulldogs versus Texas Longhorns game at Georgia's stadium, the avocados from Mexico were advertising on the sideline for the Longhorns in the very back part of the sideline. It was like more the far right of it, almost kind of like 20 feet from the end zone, shit like that. There were just some random people in avocado suits, and I pointed that out to my dad because we were watching the game, and I was like, wait, what the hell? Are those avocados? And then they were looking at me like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I don't see any avocados. And then I had to wait because it was so zoomed into the damn field that it didn't show the sidelines. And then as soon as I got it, it reminded me of that time in The Incredibles where the teacher is trying to tell on Dax or Dash or whatever his name is, and he goes,
Dash.
right there, right there. You see that? You see the move? Like kind of like that, kind of similarly. But another silly thing is my dud this week. The NFL website's misspelling of one letter for Matthew Stafford. Instead of an M dot, they put J dot Stafford whenever I was looking at the NFL's website for the comparisons for the Bucks and Rams to figure out whether or not I wanted the Bucks to win or the Rams to win for my pick. But we'll get into that later. Go ahead, Spenace.
All right. So my stud this week goes to former Red Sox World Series champion Jackie Bradley Jr., JBJ, taking advantage of retirement, and will be joining the Banana Ball League as a member of the Indianapolis Clowns. And he was the first overall pick of the draft. So yes, the Savannah Bananas have expanded to this Banana Ball League, and there's now a few different teams that they field players for. So along with that, they now have a draft to kind of pick up a couple of extra players. So Jackie Bradley Jr. says, "Oh, I'll go ahead and do this," and he gets picked. And I have a pair of duds this week. My first one, an honorable mention, goes to Giants rookie defensive end Abdul Carter for being suspended for the opening series against the Packers for missing a walkthrough because he was asleep in the facility. He slept through a walkthrough in a different area of the facility and missed it. But then my other dud, which was definitely a lot more serious and a lot dumber.
I mean, it is Jamar Chase.
Was Bengal wide receiver Jamar Chase for getting a one game suspension for pulling the old Hawk Tua and spitting on Jalen Ramsey, resulting in Chase getting punched and ejecting the Steelers DB. But then he has the gall after the game and in the locker room on the interview saying, "Nah, I didn't spit on him." But all of a sudden the video footage catches Chase actually going through and spitting toward Ramsey in 4K. So yeah, so Jamar Chase, yeah, don't lie, you got suspended, and you won't be able to play this week against your opponent, who will be none other than, drum roll please, the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots.
Yep, good luck with that shit.
Yeah, as if the Bengals were going to win that game anyway.
Pure luck.
And now we move on to our next segment. And it's the color commentary. And this episode, the color commentary is a little different from our normal sports content.
Oh, it's so different.
Yeah, but it's stuff we love. We are going to be breaking it down as the Game Awards nominees have been officially unveiled yesterday, as of time of recording. And the Game of the Year nominees are Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Clair Obscure Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong, and Donkey Kong Bonanza, along with some other major games involved. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 was nominated for 12 awards across 10 categories. And I'm going to say there are some categories they will flat out run away with, and ones that they will have a good fight on their hands for. Any other takes for you, Ruckus, before I go into more of mine?
Honestly, I don't really have much to say about this year's games. Was Schedule 1 on the Game Awards last year? Because I feel like that was more of a early 2025 release, right?
It was an early 2025, and yeah, it would have held up its own, but I think a lot of games that kind of made the debut indie category or anything of that for the Game Awards caused it to kind of get knocked out. And I think it was an early access as well. So
yeah, that's
honestly,
what I was about to say.
Yeah, I think that it got more favor and love as for the early access portion on the Golden Joysticks, which is another gaming award, but it's more Britain based.
Yeah. Other than that, that's about all I had to say. Is I wish Schedule 1 was one of the indie games of the year. I probably would have voted it.
But I'm gonna say this: the Best Independent Game Award, the nominees for it, Schedule 1 had no way in. And I think even debut indie had had maybe a little bit of an easier time. But for best indie game as a whole, no, that field was or is stacked. Absalom, which is the only one in this other than Hades 2 I did not play. Ball-X Pit, Blueprints, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong. So half the field that is in the Game of the Year category is in Best Independent Game. This shows, I'm really thinking that this shows the trend of where games are going. As in what the Game Awards interprets as independent games, more of them are now getting to that high quality level to surpass even the AAA product. And I think that there should be more definition on what an independent is versus what a AA is. And that should determine quite a bit.
Yeah, it's pretty unclear.
Game Awards does need to have some more definitives.
I think they also
Joysticks does a great job of making definitives.
I also think they need to be more broad or restrictive on mobile games being like the mobile game of the year. Like most of those I didn't even hear of. But I think that just tells you how popular mobile games are compared to other bigger games. But I also think that if there wasn't very much in VR either, then it's kind of pointless to have the best VR nominee or AR nominee.
I looked at the Golden Joystick nominees, and I also saw, and this is for my next one here, the Best Performance Game Award. Any one of the actors for Clair Obscur Expedition 33 could get the Best Performance Award, and I'd be happy with it.
Yeah.
There were even great performances in the game's cast that didn't even get a nomination. Shala Nix's Ciel, Andy Serkis as Renoir. And for those of you who don't know who Andy Serkis is, think Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Impressive.
Yes, Andy Serkis was the very voice behind that. The ones that did get nominated, Charlie Cox, Ben Starr, and Jennifer English, I know exactly who I voted for, and the person who I did very much earned it for that reason. But I looked at the Golden Joysticks list. They had one for leads and one for supporting. So more than one actor can get an award, or more than one actor can get a major award in that realm. I think that Jeff Keighley has got a. I mean, you don't want to make the show longer by having more awards, but I think more awards are going to be needed to truly get more games to have proper exposure, especially as the indie games are taking over.
Yeah, make it make sense.
Or at least expand.
Yeah.
But I've already put my 29 votes in for the Game Awards. I'm looking forward to seeing what we got along the way. And who knows, Ruckus? Maybe we decide on coming up with some sort of panel for or some sort of thought toward a potential Game of the Year type ordeal for ourselves.
I mean, sure, we could like go off a base of what we've just been playing this year. I think we could do like a total, because like Spider-Man 2 released like at the beginning of this year on PC, which would probably be on my list. That's a
I wasn't talking just with us.
with the Law and Mac.
Possibly having some Lon and Mac on a panel on the outside, but
We'll have to see.
maybe we bring in another G. You know where I'm going, or at least you would think I would know.
Alex Man or my
I know. Oh, I think
my neighbor. I don't know what you're trying to get at.
I was leaning toward Alex Man. I was leaning toward bringing Alex Man into the mix.
Yeah, we could do that. I don't mind.
I would have said Alex Man. There's always the possibility of Saul if he's willing.
I haven't heard from that man in ages, but I'm sure he would love to talk to us. So
I miss that, brother.
Me too.
But at the same time, I think Alex Man, because of I think that we need to have a full episode with the core three, or some sort of guest related run, or some sort of guest related side project run for this. I would lean toward, if we're not going to put it into a full episode, a side project piece.
We'll just have to see what time tells, because I haven't heard from him in a while. We've all been busy though, to be fair.
Yeah, but I think if we were to include Alex Man in on one, we'd have a good run. We'd have a really good run. And plus, I think we also could do if we could figure out a way that he possibly runs. He may even run the special live on his Twitch stream if he wants to.
We can see.
Yep, we have the idea. Now we just got to make sure we line it up. But speaking of what we've been watching, what we've been playing, it's now time for our lights, camera, action segment. And Ruckus, I will let you roll.
Well, today as of recording, there is a new update for Battlefield 6. Go figure. The game I've been playing for pretty much a whole month straight and just no life. They added a new update to where they finally allow people that were playing the Battle Royale Red Sec mode to play the new Eastwood map, which is based off of the California biome, as you could say. But yeah, like that whole atmosphere and everything, you can now play into a big full map on Conquest, even though someone did that in a portal mode. But I digress. They added a new mode called Sabotage, which is exactly what is said, where you could either defend or attack. And the objective is to as the attacker to destroy the cargo and stuff that is in a zone, and the defender obviously has to make sure that that shit does not get destroyed. So so far I think it's a lot of fun. It gives more bonus content towards like the challenges and whatnot. It gives you more incentive to play. It's just a lot more fun. As
Wait,
far as go ahead, sorry, I've been
you said
talking.
an Eastwood. You said an Eastwood map
Yes, sir. And it's
with
not
no cowboy
Wild West.
speaking Italian.
Since when did a damn wait? Clint Eastwood spoke Italian.
Since no cowboy speaking Italian.
I didn't say anything about Italians and cowboys. I just said
A
Eastwood.
spaghetti western. A spaghetti western.
Get out. Anyways, yes, it's called Eastwood, but it's based off of, I guess, Eastwood, LA. Fuck, I don't know. Anyways, the
Clint.
well,
Oh
thanks for
my.
derailing me over here. Now I feel like a train that just got yeeted off of a track and then just killed a bunch of people, and then like a whole breaking news segment comes in. Anyways, I
Welcome to
digress.
Battlefield.
So Battlefield, the new stuff, TLDR, sabotage mode is pretty sick. I played it earlier, pretty awesome. I am almost level 60 now. I was at like level 50 something last week, but I just keep on doing the dailies and just seeing what goes on with that. And then once I complete that, or if I haven't completed it, I'll try to figure out a way to speed run that shit, because sometimes the challenges are annoying in this game. But other than that, I've been keeping up with the Super Bowl race Madden stuff and editing whenever I get the chance on the weekends. If you haven't noticed, I have kind of slimmed it down because I feel like, in my opinion, I probably wouldn't want to watch an hour of just random football bullcrap happening, because there are times where I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I want this game to end, or it's like, oh my god, why what is happening in this game? Like, we've all had those what the F moments with Madden, and soon I will have the other challenge videos done. I have been kind of putting that on the back burner, but I'm trying to learn how to make time for things in life. Anyways, go ahead, Spenace.
So there is a new movie that I did get to watch, and there has been some game that I'm now finally actively getting to play. The movie, I'll start there first, as this past weekend I went to go see the 2025 edition of The Running Man with Glenn Powell and Josh Brolin. So solid movie, not bad for what it is. It is reimagined from the 1987 Arnold movie, but it is a line closer to Stephen King's book. And Glenn Powell and Josh Brolin were solid in their roles. It really like, it made Brolin just always seems to know how to play a really good villain.
Bro, really good villain or amazing villain? Cough, cough. Avengers. Cough, cough.
Oh yeah, just snap his fingers and and half the world goes boom.
Yep. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Thanos. But ironically enough, that his second Marvel character that he played was also a little bit of an anti-hero, because he also, if you remember in Deadpool 2,
yeah, I was about to say,
Brolin was also Cable.
I don't remember Deadpool 2 all that much, besides just how not as good it was compared to the first one, but I digress.
Yeah, but you didn't realize that Josh Brolin was Cable?
I knew.
Yeah. But honestly, I think the real good part about Deadpool coming back for a third one was, you know how long I've been waiting for this?
When does the third one come out, or has it already come out?
last year.
Oh, with Wolverine, that's correct. I didn't think of that as like a Deadpool 3. I thought of that as just like a way that not ESPN, that Disney could make some extra cash. I have a feeling Deadpool 3 would actually be a thing and they just shovel that off to the side, but I don't know. We'll see.
It led Channing Tatum to say, "Whoa, I'm about to make a name for myself here." Because in Deadpool and Wolverine, of course, Channing Tatum was Gambit. Finally.
Yep. Name it, Jeff.
But playing for me this week, I did finish the main game of Pokemon Legends ZA. The exploration in it is still addicting as ever. I'm now trying to get some Pokemon the way that I need to push through to the actual post game end game if I can. But I officially started and have now nearly finished Dispatch. As I had mentioned last week that I had bought it but hadn't started. Now I've gotten to go, and I'm constantly trying to find time for it. And it is a very solid game. It with we've talked about the voice acting before and everything, so I kind of don't need to explain it too much.
Yep.
But I have Kirby Air Riders this week and Metroid Prime 4 and a couple more. So I'm going to have some other games to add in, and God willing that things come along, I possibly will be doing Indiana Jones at the end of the year. But on our notes, in talking about Glenn Powell's The Running Man, in that it was a remake, we now have a power rankings, as we will be ranking our top 5 remakes, remasters, and reboots.
Yep.
In the world of entertainment. Movies and video games qualify. TV if it ever ended up having to do something with that, but mostly movies and video games are probably where our biggest knowledge is.
Yep.
We can both go with our number 5s back and forth. Here we go.
All right. For my number 5, I have Doom. I didn't play the original one because I was not even a thought in my dad's nut whenever Doom originally came out. But I played the 2016 version of the game, and then I played the sequel, and my God, the music, besides the combat, the music is what really gets me with Doom. Just like you're dealing with all this chaos, and you just hear Mick Gordon going, and you're just like, hell yeah, let's go, brother. All right, Spenace.
Number 5, I have a Superman reboot, and I did not do the 2025 edition, though I enjoyed that. I went with Man of Steel, the first Henry Cavill one. This is a reboot and the only movie in our entire list.
Yep.
In both of our entire lists. Henry Cavill was a solid Superman in this. Russell Crowe was Jor-El. And then this was the first one with Amy Adams as Lois Lane. And how they explained, talking about the S on Superman's chest standing for hope, and taking his full embrace as Kryptonian. It was a solid film. Probably ran a little too long. But at the same time, it was good enough to make the list. Number 4.
All right, number 4 for me is Wolfenstein. And yeah, this is another one where I didn't play it because, like I said earlier, not even a thought. I didn't play the original Wolfenstein, but I did play the New Order and the prequel to that, which is Old Blood. And then I played the second one, which was the New Colossus, which was probably my favorite one out of all of them. But I mean, you could do dual wielded guns in the first one, but this second one was like icing on the cake. Like they increased the intensity of the game, and I thought it was freaking awesome for the time that I had with it.
Number 4, I did the 2013 PS3 reboot of Tomb Raider. This one, though it does not necessarily give the same type of identity to Lara Croft as the original product, it develops Lara Croft's character much better in a sense of survivor and all the elements of actually being able to guns and bow and arrow, elements of stealth. It really fleshed out a lot more of Tomb Raider and being able to do a lot of different things. Number 3.
I have Grand Theft Auto. And the reason why I say this is because technically you can go into human history and find that Grand Theft Auto has been released on 3 different console generations in the past decade. And not only that, but also they've had definitive editions of their classic games like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and Grand Theft Auto 3. And I have played and beaten through Vice City, but I have not beaten San Andreas, but I have gotten into some good times with that. But yeah, I mainly started with GTA 5, obviously, but Grand Theft Auto in general is a classic, and I hope GTA 6 doesn't suck. Spenace, go ahead.
Number 3, I have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. As a kid, the nostalgia of playing this set of games with doing a kickflip and playing as Tony Hawk or any of the other skaters, they did do a bunch of stuff to kind of modernize it, but at the same time, it did a great job of remaking the original levels and all of the other fun elements that came.
Adding Bam Margera.
That was 3 and 4.
Oh, okay, my bad.
That was 3 and 4. Because Bam did not debut until Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. This one was 1 and 2. 3 and 4 would qualify here, but I think 1 and 2 because of the amount of nostalgia that the first 2 brought in before 3 existed was.
Yeah, I remember playing American Wasteland, but that was my favorite.
Yeah, yeah, I just said probably 1 was where most of my nostalgia came from, but then I got skilled enough to say, oh, I can play 3, I can play 4, play Underground 2. So I knew my way around the Tony Hawk's games. I think I stopped after a certain point, but normally I think it was Underground 2 where I think I ultimately stopped. I never really played Wasteland, Project 8, or anything else.
Project 8 was okay, but I think American Wasteland was my favorite.
Number 2.
My number 2 is a Insomniac game, and no, it is not Ratchet and Clank for number 2. It is Spider-Man Remastered from the original PS4 edition to distributing it to the PS5 and to PC eventually. This game was amazing. I remember watching on Mr. Nice Guy's stream a long-ass time ago when he was streaming Spider-Man, just watching him play it, and I was just like, damn, this game is so immersive. And the second one makes the icing on the cake, as I didn't realize I got to play Venom in Spider-Man 2. And that shit was awesome. Just being like the Incredible Hulk, like in the first Avengers movie with our Robert Downey Jr. and all of them, where he's like ragdolling one of the bad guys. Like that's what it felt like
Oh,
playing as
where he's doing
Venom.
the low, where he's like slamming Loki and said, "Puny God."
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead, Spenace with number 2.
Number 2 is a little bit more of an all-encompassing type of thing because these remakes all ended up doing something pretty good. And that is the Pokemon mainline remakes. This being Fire Red, Leaf Green, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. As they brought their own unique style, they brought the modernized mechanics to the generation that it ultimately spawned off of. So Fire Red, Leaf Green Gen 1 was built off of Gen 3. Heart Gold, Soul Silver was built off of Gen 4. Oros, Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire was built off of Gen 6. And Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl was Gen 4 built off of Gen 8. And you could completely cheese. I found a way to cheese the Cynthia fight in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl with absolutely zero issues. And that was fun. Like, that was fun actually being able to do that and cheese it. But that was just, those games allowed for creativity in being able to use Pokemon that I normally wouldn't. And that is how I play regular mainline Pokemon games to this day.
Yep.
Number 1.
All right, I kind of bamboozled you guys, but that wouldn't be without saying Ruckus always causing the ruckus. Number 1, I have Ratchet and Clank. That is also an Insomniac game, and that was my childhood in the nutshell when it came to video games. Ratchet and Clank, especially the early ones, and then Deadlocked was my favorite because you got the dual-wield pistols, but also just the humor that comes with that game is spot on. And in general, the game those games were peak. That's why I have for number 1 is the Ratchet and Clank Collection, which was remastered on PS3. And then there was a reboot. But go ahead, Spencer.
Number 1 for me is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, a remaster of the Wii U title over to the Nintendo Switch 1, and was probably one of, if not the greatest Mario Kart games of all time. And it was so good that they even expanded the amount of maps made.
And the amount of money it costs for the game.
I mean, I bought an expansion pass, which was $49.99, which $50 a year. But those expanded maps, whenever you bought that package for the year, it didn't cost extra. You got the maps for no extra charge. So really, per month, you were paying less than $5. $5 a month for an individual expansion pass to actually use the maps while you had the membership. So it wasn't even that crazy.
That's a wild take, but okay. I'll allow it.
But here's the thing. At the same time, this was also back when DLCs actually gave you legitimate expansions to games instead of having to use microtransactions.
That is true.
Cosmetic-ish.
I miss the times where you would get the DLC for games like Call of Duty, like when they would do their like seasonal DLC. Like I miss those, but at the same time, the quality back in the day was a lot better than it is now.
Oh, no. If I am going to pay extra for a game, or for a game that I have, if I'm going to pay extra for build off, it must be a legitimate content expansion that does not feel like it's cutting off or that it's completely cut off for no reason. I mean, Destiny had the formula where you had to pay for all of the expansions. Okay. But Mario Kart, you're like, oh, you're paying for more tracks. Okay. I could see where this could go. Pokemon, you're expanding content that they take a bunch of extra time to have. Like they give you time to play the base game, develop your Pokemon for it, but then go right into the expansion and say, hey, we now will have this expansion for you. And the they release the 2-part expansion in waves. But it's an expansion in content. Expansion content, more Pokemon you can find. So there are certain aspects where if the content for the expansion or the DLC involved makes sense, okay. But I don't just simply say, oh, I'm doing a DLC for just skins.
Yeah.
I want story content within that expansion.
All right.
And now we move to the Week 11 recap of the NFL season in our high heat. The teams on bye this week are the Colts and Saints. And I have a grand total of only 5 games this week out of the lot that really were worth giving a simple take for. The Patriots defeat the Jets 27-14. And my thought here is Drake May has been playing like he has been in the healthiest situation for the 2024 class of first-round quarterbacks. And we may not have realized this when he was first selected.
I think it helps to have a actual tenured coach in Mike Vrabel, because I don't think Mayo would have really been stable for Drake. And didn't they have Brissett as their starting QB last year?
I mean, for a bit they did. But I know at the same time, Drake May, his arm strength has finally been unlocked. They've built talent around him that he can work with. I mean, bringing in Stephon Diggs having a little bit of a renaissance to his NFL career at this point is a help. And the Patriots actually look likable compared to Belichick years, which is shocking.
That's a breath of fresh air, pretty much.
Oh, yeah. As far as the Patriots go, oh, yeah, Vrabel may have came from the Belichick system, but I think he is very much unlike Belichick in terms of how cutthroat and unlikable Belichick was as an NFL coach as far as cheating would go. And following the prime game on Thursday, we now move to Madrid, where the Dolphins defeat the Commanders 16-13. And my thought as far as the Commanders take, we played better defensively now that Dan Quinn has taken over. But our mistakes cost us. Yeah, and I'm talking before the Mariota interception. The missed field goals. We missed 2 of them. And I'm sure you probably saw this. We cut our kicker.
Wasn't it? I don't even remember who it was.
Matt Gay was our kicker. We cut it. We cut him after the game because he missed a 51 and a 56-yarder. And now instead of talking about Matt Gay as our kicker is now going to be the same one who kicked a game-winning field goal against us early in the season when he was with the Bears.
Santos?
No, Jake Moody.
Oh, yeah, I remember because he got cut by the 49ers.
got cut by the 49ers, was on the Bears practice squad, elevated because Santos was out with an injury that kicked the game winner against the Commanders. Now he's been acquired from the Bears practice squad for us to use as our starting kicker. Let's see how this goes.
I guess, because the same thing can be said about Justin Tucker and the Packers.
Yeah, but that's more due to a suspension and a McManus injury rather than McManus stinking up the joint.
It was just on a plane. Chill out. Anyways, I digress.
The Jaguars defeat the Chargers 35-6. And what has now become the honest take here for the Chargers is Justin Herbert's success for the rest of this season can only go as far as his makeshift offensive line can protect him. And I wrote here MacGyver, but makeshift is just as much a proper word here.
Yeah. I feel like compared to Bo Nix, I feel like Bo Nix has a better O-line than the Chargers right now.
We'll get to him later. The Ravens defeat the Browns 23-16. And my big take here is welcome to the NFL, Shedeur Sanders. And you found your moment, and what did you proceed to do? You choked on it.
And insult to injury, his fucking house gets robbed during the game.
Oh yeah, that we knew was people be doing, people be trying, but Shedeur Sanders was absolutely not ready for what was coming to him this game with that, and I think it also showed a lot of people why Shedeur was picked much lower than many of the quarterbacks that were already doing things in his draft class, including the person he replaced, a concussed Dylan Gabriel. I mean, Dart Simpson's doing things. Tyler Shuck was now getting some starts in New Orleans. And Shedeur just got his NFL debut now, and he completely browns to the bed.
Well, in a sneak peek into my Browns Raiders episode, my title is going to be something along the lines of the Roomba is spreading the Browns all over the place. It's kind of like that viral clip of like the dog crap being stuck on the rug or whatever, and then the Roomba comes over it.
Oh no. All right.
Anyways.
And last but not least, the Broncos defeat the Chiefs 22-19. And I think Ruckus is now dealing with the hard truths about last year. As my take says, success for the Chiefs in one-score games has been night and day between last year and this one. They were 11-0 last year in that situation. They're now 0-5 this year. And I believe that reason alone will be critical as to why I think the Kansas City Chiefs will miss the playoffs this year. I believe the Chiefs are no longer a playoff team right now. Ruckus can boo me all he wants, but face facts and face kind of where the structure's going. The Chiefs will not make the playoffs this year.
You could have said the same thing about the Patriots back in through the 2010s when or like the late 2010s when they were really rough before Brady decided to go to Tampa Bay. They had some rough looks, and people were thinking, well, this might not be their year. Tom Brady's looking like total ass, and it's like, okay, all right. And then they get to the wild card and then magically get to the Super Bowl somehow, some way. So, I mean, I feel like the Chiefs have turned into that, but at the same time, there's been a lot of inconsistencies, and there's been some talks about Jawan Taylor getting cut or being sidelined for Jalen Moore because Jawan Taylor had the one holding penalty near the end of the game, and it's hard to explain how you fuck up that badly as the Chiefs.
And I'm going to say this. This situation does not get easier. And
I mean, we faced the Colts
think,
this Sunday, which I think we could win, but we could also possibly lose because we lost against them at Lucas Oil a couple years ago in a trap game. Yeah. But I think they're playing at the Chiefs, right?
This isn't a trap game anymore. Yeah, you're playing an Arrowhead, but the Colts are still really good, and with 2 weeks to prepare.
We'll just have to see what happens.
Then you get the Cowboys on a short weekend Thanksgiving. Then you have a longer break, and then play the Texans in prime time on Peacock with Sunday Night Football. And then you go and you face the Chargers, granted at home, before a 1 week reprieve with the Titans. And then on Christmas Day, with the AFC West either all but clinched or with Denver potentially looking to clinch the AFC West. I think Denver will have your number here.
We'll have to see. I'm not going to say the Broncos are absolute trash or anything like that, but I think the Broncos have a better way to get the AFC West. But if they just get the AFC West and don't get a Super Bowl, that's going to look bad on them.
Hold on. You're going to say that just because the Broncos win the AFC West and fall short of the Super Bowl, that you think it's going to look bad?
I think if the Chiefs get to the Super Bowl this year and stun everybody, then it will look bad for the Broncos, as they had a hot start to the year with some lucky wins here and there and some other stuff happening. I think the Broncos would have been in the same spot that the Chiefs were in a sense. Like, the odds are against us this year, but I mean, we did it to ourselves for the most part.
The Chiefs even get there.
We'll see. I'm not going to sit here and pussyfoot around, but I think the Chiefs still could be in it, but it's just very, very slim. It's hanging by a thread. But I'm not gonna say that the Broncos won't win the AFC West. It's pretty fucking clear at this point, but we'll see.
I'm at the point where I'm going to say I'm like the South Park. If all of a sudden here in the next couple of weeks, you guys go through these next couple of games with the Colts, the Cowboys, the Texans, and the Chargers, if you lose 3 out of the next 4, which I think is entirely possible, I'm going to be sitting there saying, as far as the playoff hopes, I'm like the banker in South Park saying, and it's gone.
What? What do you mean it's gone? It's gone.
It's gone. Just did it. It's gone. And now we move on to the film room, where we get to pick football games for you. And as of last week's results, I'm blanking away even more, as I am now up by 15.
I'm sure that Alabama Sooner game really stung you, though.
Not as bad as you think it would. because I came back from that, getting Georgia over Texas and Denver over Kansas City. So I was a happy camper. But our college games this week: Louisville versus SMU.
I picked the SMU Mustangs.
I picked SMU as well. USC versus Oregon.
Quack, quack, quack,
Quack,
quack,
quack,
quack.
I am taking the Ducks. Georgia Tech versus Pitt.
I'm taking Pitt.
I'm going with the Yellow Jackets. I'm taking Georgia Tech. And then last but not least for college football, BYU versus Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, baby. Support for Travis and Jason's school.
I'm taking BYU.
You're bringing them young.
Oh, I've got space. I've got space and being able to afford a little bit point wise. I'm taking BYU. The next one in the NFL, Bills Texans on Amazon Prime. Davis
Ooh.
Mills has been rolling along as CJ Stroud will miss another game due to the concussion.
I'm going to go Bills, but in general, I feel like Thursday night football games have become a running meme of it's going to be a terrible game to watch.
This one, I'm gonna say that I don't think it's going to be as terrible as you think it is.
All right.
Especially with how well, and I'm saying this because Davis Mills has been playing well right now. And the Texans defense is legit. And the Texans are climbing. However, I think they're gonna slip a little bit here. I'm taking the Bills.
Yep, I'm going Bills.
The next game we have is the Steelers versus the Bears.
I'm picking the Bears because I'm still unsure of if Rodgers is going to play in the game, and if he even does, do you really think he's going to be 100% throwing accurate on the field? Maybe, I don't know, but you're also playing at Soldier Field. I feel like the Bears have the advantage.
Well, Rodgers has played well at Soldier Field. His status is still to be determined. The notable thing about the wrist injury is that it's a fracture on his non-throwing wrist. But it's just a matter of impact, I would think, as far as whether or not he should go. If he doesn't, I know exactly where I'm landing, even though these two defenses are some of the top in terms of turnovers. I think there's probably going to be a good amount of them in this game, hopefully, to have this continue, but I am going with the Bears as well. Another fun main event, Colts Chiefs.
How about those Chiefs? I'm sorry, Vincent, but I gotta do it to you, my man. I mean, we're gonna have a get together on Sunday anyways, but have fun. But I think the Chiefs barely win. But I could be wrong. Who knows?
Da 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 da. I am taking the Indianapolis Colts in this one, as I do believe this will be a game that is going to be a one-score game, and once again, the Chiefs will continue to show how bad they have been in one-score games. And it's another game with Sauce Gardner in the cornerback slot. So there's gonna, and of course with those two corners on each side, I don't know if Mahomes is gonna get very many great opportunities to pass the football well. I'm taking the Colts. Bucks, Rams.
This one was a tough one for me because both teams have the talent. It's at SoFi, but I have a feeling Baker is going to shine out over Matthew Stafford. I think this is going to be like almost like when Josh Allen does really well at SoFi and just trailblazes them. But I think Baker's going to do it in a similar way, but just not as impacted because Baker Mayfield has played for the Rams in the past whenever he got passed from the Panthers to the Rams and then eventually signed with the Bucks the next season. But I think the Bucks are gonna take it against the Rams.
I am going to take the Rams here. I think that the Rams look like they are going to be extremely complete. They passed a great litmus test in playing the Seahawks. And I think the Rams will force Baker Mayfield into mistakes. Taking LA here.
All right.
And last but not least, we have the Carolina Panthers and the San Francisco 49ers.
I have a feeling that the Panthers are going to stun the 49ers and gain more leverage into a potential wild card thing or being on the hunt for a playoff spot. We'll see.
Panthers are 6-5. Playoff picture currently has Carolina just on the outside in, and San Francisco is a critical team that Carolina will have to face in order for this to happen. Actually, hold up. Yeah, the Carolinas are off on week 14. So, but I am going to say that this will not be the case because Brock Purdy in the last game looked really, really, really good. And I think that this will continue to keep up. I'm taking the 49ers here.
All right.
Especially at home. And now we are rounding third and headed for home as we have three major stories to close us out. In rounding out our MLB awards season, Tarek Skubal and Paul Skeens win the Cy Young Awards for each league. Skeens was unanimous. And Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani win the MVPs, and Ohtani's was unanimous.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Any thoughts?
I think good job by Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal with the Cy Young Awards. Judge, I'm not sure about AL MVP, but I think it could have been Cal Raleigh. Who knows?
I think it should have been Cal Raleigh.
And then Ohtani is MVP. That's unanimous.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's keep going.
Stephen Curry has now decided to leave Under Armour and become a quote-unquote shoe-free agent. Where do you think he signs?
I wouldn't be surprised
or does he start his own company?
I wouldn't be surprised if he went Adidas or Nike or Reebok. I mean, I feel like it'd be kind of cool if he went Reebok because then if that Shaq show that I talked about earlier this year, where he buys Reebok and it tries to revamp that shoe company to being what it was in the past with Allen Iverson and Shaquille O'Neal. I think it'd be kind of cool if he went to Reebok, but who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if Nike gobbled him up or if some other organization took him up on that offer.
Okay, so
I feel like sorry, go
so
ahead.
Shaq has picked up Reebok.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows where where this is going to go. Curry is going to look for probably something there. It could be, if he goes to Reebok, he becomes one of the first huge faces, potentially. Jordan could be a possibility, but Jordan has also had guys like Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, Zion Williamson, Paulo Banchero soon to be on the line. Then Curry potentially could go to Nike, as he's also gone with wearing the Mambacitas since he has been in free agency or shoe free agency.
Apparently on
Hunter.
Soul Retriever, it said, did Nike sign Steph Curry? And it said a day ago Steph Curry wore Nike's Kobe 6s right after announcing he was leaving Under Armour, but I don't know if that's a sign.
Yep. I would say a good underrated company that I think he could go to and be a nice big face to go along with Jamal Murray actually would be New Balance. I think New Balance would be an interesting pick.
Yep, that would be an interesting one too.
That'd be an
Isn't
interesting one as
KD
well.
a part of that too?
Which one?
Isn't Kevin Durant part of that too?
No, I think. Well, Kevin Durant's. I think Kevin Durant. No, he is a lifetime. No, he's Nike.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin Durant is a lifetime deal with Nike. He is the third NBA player with a lifetime Nike deal, as the other two are Jordan and LeBron. But last and certainly not least, in terms of WVU, this is the most Mountaineers type thing you could think of. Kevin Brown, an offensive lineman recruit who was committed to Penn State prior to James Franklin's firing, has now flipped his commitment and now is going to WVU and celebrated by doing a Mountaineer tradition of burning a couch. All of this was done on the Pat McAfee show, where Pat McAfee is a former Mountaineer. In this 1 to 10 on best college football announcement.
It kind of reminds me of like whenever Bill's Mafia breaks the like the table and whatnot.
Where they do the table, the traditional table. Yep.
It just reminds me of that, but it's like just more just random and funny.
Oh yeah. I mean, how he ended up with that couch in his backyard, that's one thing. His father was a former Mountaineer as well, so that makes it interesting in that regard.
It's almost like an
This
icing on the
is-
cake type thing.
Oh, it really is, and it is the most WVU thing that you really could have seen happen. And as someone who is in the state and knows a lot of people who are WVU fans, I think if they had known about this, they'd have been all over it. And on that note, that will do it for episode number 163 of the Ruckus and the Menace podcast. I'm Spenace the Menace.
And I am Ruckus, always causing a ruckus.
And until the next one, hugs and hand pounds, everybody.
Deuces.